Bob Lutz, Paul Suellentrop from Koch Arena. Shockers do what we thought they'd do today, beat Bradley soundly 88-54. WSU now 14-5. Remember back when people were wondering after a 2-4 start what this team was going to be, and were they going to get to the NCAA tournament? Was this the year somebody in the Valley could catch them? Things look normal.
That was an overreaction back then, yeah, and I think you and I made that point. I don't know that I was ever really concerned about the NCAA tournament, and they are certainly on track now.
Well, you knew that a lot of that was Fred VanVleet's injury. Right. He's healthy now, and the team is chugging along as normal, and 41 games now in a row here that they've won. Do we take time enough to look at that and appreciate? I mean, we're journalists. We're not paid to cheer and root for teams, but we also enjoy covering good teams, and we've had the pleasure of doing that for quite a while now at Wichita State, and it doesn't happen easily, as we've seen around the rest of the Missouri Valley Conference. It's tough to be good. Yeah,
I think what Wichita State done is, there's a lot of schools out there trying, a lot of coaches out there recruiting hard and working hard, and for a lot of reasons that we've written about and discussed, Wichita State is doing it about as well as anybody.
Wichita State got serious about basketball. They've always been somewhat serious about basketball, but after some really futile years in the 90s, Jim Schaus came in here and made some changes, hired Mark Turgeon. When he left after 7 years of success, hired Greg Marshall. He's now in his 9th year. This run of Shocker basketball's been pretty good, and there's no end in sight, as Fred VanVleet said in the postgame today. This train's going to keep going even after he, Ron Baker, and some other seniors depart.
Yeah, I don't probably sound like Jim Schaus, but I think that what Wichita State did was they tried to, do what they could as far as the facility and paying people, right, salaries and those kind of things. And then maybe you get a little bit fortunate, some happenstance. I mean, if Winthrop had not been assigned to the same regional as Wichita State in Greensboro in 2006, maybe he never sees Greg Marshall coach, and maybe things go in a different direction. You just don't know with things like that. But, the credit goes to, the people at Wichita State that since about 2000 have really revamped this athletic department.
So you have to be careful to give Wichita State the credit it deserves, because it's dominating the Missouri Valley Conference. On the other end of that, no one really is stepping up to challenge Wichita State, and to me that's a concern. That's a concern the league has to address. We're just not seeing those teams out there outside of Northern Iowa last year, certainly. Just not the teams that are putting the resources into this to be able to challenge Wichita State.
Yeah, and I think there's 3 schools that stand out as having, from my opinion, the right combination of resources and tradition and location and all those kind of things. One of them was here today, Bradley. I think Southern Illinois, although they're having a fine year this year, but they've been down the last few years. And the same with Missouri State. Those are 3 programs that I think the Valley needs to count on to be top 100, top 75 RPI most years, and then in other years, maybe they really make a move and they're in the top 30. And those 3 programs have really, since 2011, when Missouri State won the Valley title, all 3 of them have been in various forms of not being very good.
A lot of Shockers played today in this route. Wednesday night, Loyola comes to town. We're not expecting that to be a hotly contested game, certainly. After that, Wichita State next Sunday, I believe, is on the road at Evansville. That'll probably be the game that determines their chances of going undefeated in this league again for the second time in 3 years. And the year they didn't, they lost once.
Right. And they've handled Evansville at Evansville the last 2 years. In 2013 they lost there. They've played really well there in the previous 2 years. That'll be a very good game. It'll be Evansville. They're not getting any run as far as NCAA at large. If they were to win that might change a little bit. So certainly this is a season-defining opportunity for Evansville.
Probably the longest video we've ever done after a 34-point blowout, but we've given you some good information to chew on today. We'll be back here at Koch Arena Wednesday night, Wichita State Loyola, 8 o'clock tip. See you then.